Today in Pakistan's legal arena, a Supreme Court hearing concerning changes in accountability laws saw ex-Premier Imran Khan's virtual appearance met with silence. Despite earlier directives for his virtual presence, the hearing unfolded without live broadcast, prompting questions about the case's progression and the suspension of legislative processes. Justices raised concerns over democratic principles and the role of the judiciary, deliberating on interpretations of the law and the definition of an affected party. Amidst discussions on parliamentary procedures and executive ordinances, Chief Justice Issa adjourned the hearing indefinitely, emphasizing the need for detailed reasons accompanying such ordinances and ensuring Khan's continued virtual presence. Separately, Justice Mohsen Akhtar Kayani of the Islamabad High Court demanded a report from the Defense Secretary regarding the alleged involvement of state intelligence agencies in the abduction of Kashmiri poet and journalist Ahmed Fahad Shah. Shah's disappearance prompted swift action from the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, with the court seeking comprehensive reports from relevant intelligence quarters and emphasizing the need for legislative measures against enforced disappearances. Switching gears, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif pledged a permanent solution to the issues faced by the people of Azad Jammu Kashmir during a special meeting with the AJK cabinet. He ordered the formation of a committee to address concerns like water charge and hydropower plants, highlighting the country's interconnected progress with the region. In The Hague, the International Court of Justice convened today to hear South Africa's plea for additional emergency measures concerning Israel's offensive in Rafah, a city in southern Gaza. South Africa accuses Israel of violating the Genocide Convention, a claim Israel vehemently denies. Meanwhile, the conflict's toll continues to rise, with more than 35,000 fatalities and nearly 80,000 wounded, according to Palestinian health officials. Amidst the ongoing violence, the government media office released a grim tally of scholars and educators lost since the conflict began last October. Over 400 educational institutions have been either fully or partially destroyed, sparking international condemnation and calls for justice. In the besieged Jabalia refugee camp, the Qassam brigades and the Quds brigades mounted attacks on Israeli tanks, claiming casualties among Israeli forces. Al Jazeera's correspondent reported relentless shelling of residential areas, capturing the harrowing aftermath on social media. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant announced the reinforcement of ground operations in Rafah, boasting of diminishing Hamas's capabilities. However, the toll on civilians continues to mount, with reports of casualties including a pregnant woman and the tragic loss of life due to friendly fire incidents among Israeli troops. At least 35,272 people have been killed and 79,205 wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. Leaders Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin convened in Beijing, framing their nation's alliance as a stabilizing force in a turbulent global landscape. Putin's first foreign trip since his recent re-election underscores the significance of Sino-Russian ties, particularly amidst Russia's war efforts in Ukraine and economic isolation. Amidst grand ceremonies, Xi welcomed Putin, emphasizing the peace-enhancing nature of China-Russia relations. Putin reciprocated, affirming their partnership as a stabilizing influence on the global stage, rooted in principles of justice and international law. Following discussions behind closed doors, the leaders solidified their strategic partnership with a joint statement, signaling deeper collaboration between their nations. Putin's visit coincided with his praise for Russian troops' advancements in Ukraine, highlighting the urgency of his appeal for Chinese support. Despite Western scrutiny, China's economic reliance on Russia remains robust, with energy imports and access to resources vital to its economy. While China claims neutrality in the Ukraine conflict, Xi reiterated the need for a political resolution, emphasizing respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. Putin expressed gratitude for China's mediation efforts and raised concerns about growing US-led military alliances in Asia. Despite burgeoning trade between China and Russia, recent US sanctions have slowed transactions, prompting Beijing to tread cautiously in openly expanding cooperation. Analysts suggest Beijing's efforts to mend ties with the US may limit its overt support for Russia. Putin's visit, reminiscent of Xi's own post-re-election trip to Russia, underscores the enduring partnership between the two nations. His engagements include meetings with top Chinese officials and participation in a trade expo, affirming the multifaceted nature of Sino-Russian relations.